Back, everyone. You may have an idea of when you might be retiring, but you know what? We can always plan for those things.
Oh, yeah.
We always say plan and then laugh because you never know what's going to happen. And what if things don't go as you planning? And what if you're forced to retire early? Perhaps you might get laid off.
Well, we go to the expert for that. Bill Smith, CEO of W.A. Smith Financial Group. He's helped a lot of people sort through options, joining us now with some tips. So what steps do you take to decide if an early retirement offer is right for you, if they offer you a buyout?
Well, obviously the first step is have a plan.
Yeah.
And know where you are, depending on how far how far retirement is out in the future. But a couple things you want to think about. I mean, there's a couple traps we see people get caught up in. The 20% withholding trap. If you're caught up in an early layoff or you are presented with an early buyout, be careful with that lump sum pension or the 401k, because if you get caught and you take the money, they're going to mandatorily withhold 20%. It's going to hurt you. The second thing I would tell most folks that are caught up in
Is there ever a time taking the lump sum as a good way to go or not?
Yeah, lump sums make sense, again, if you have a plan, but the problem becomes is if a company today is offering a lump sum, you have to be careful with what you do. A lot of people feel like they won the lottery.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They go,
all that
cash.
money, all that
Let's
money
go.
in
and
front of you.
hey, let's go buy boats and cars and all this.
A house?
Bad idea. Bad idea with that, because time is your most important component of this whole planning process, and you need to have time to make that money work and grow, and you can't make that up if you start blowing that money on things that are like cars
Unnecessary
and boats.
expenses,
That's for sure,
Things
yeah.
like that. But I think the main thing is having a plan. Number one, most people don't have a thorough budget. Not only, a basic necessities of living. Imagine, what do you need every month to live the life you want to live? And that's what you have to build a plan around. And so the number one question that's asked of us and our advisors at our firm is, when can I retire and how do I know I have enough?
Yeah.
Until you do that budget, you have to, that's the telltale sign right there of how much money you need. It's all about your budget.
How do you choose that lump sum versus pension, though?
What you want to do, again, it all starts with the budget. You start there, you assess, number one, when will you retire? Number two, what are your resources? And if a lump sum pension is one of your resources, what we want to take a look at is, can you afford to replace that income without the risk of running out of it? If you take a traditional pension, it's an annuity, you're not going to run out of money. It'll be there as long as you live, and if you select a survivor option, your spouse gets it. Right. The problem becomes with not taking a lump sum is that when you die and when your spouse dies, that money stops. Where in a lump sum, if you take a lump sum pension, as long as you're not at risk of running out, you can then pass that money on to children or heirs if you don't spend it all. So there are some distinct advantages, but the problem becomes is that most people see a pension and they see it as an income source, and all of a sudden they're presented with a lump sum and they think, ooh, we just won the lottery.
Right. It looks great.
It looks great, but you got to be careful. And you need a plan.
If you're laid off, sorry, because we're almost running out of time. You can't kind of plan for that. And if a lot of these people that are in their maybe 50s, late 50s, early 60s, not ready to retire, maybe they're working a trade, then what do? Hard to find another job, you're laid off?
It really is. It's tough. The people are caught between a rock and a hard place, quite frankly. And we've seen a lot of people retire sooner than what they should actually. So I think again, it starts with a plan, assess your resources, then determine, can you afford to just hang it up, retire? And then, hey, maybe the combination of the plan with some underemployment, you're employed but maybe not as gainfully as you'd like to be, that could be enough to get you over the hump, to get you to that 59 and a half, 60, 62, 65, whatever it might be. But having a plan, talking to somebody is so important before you go making knee-jerk reactions with lump sum pensions and stuff like that.
Well, that's why you want to go see Bill over at W.A. Smith Financial.
That's
of course,
right,
you can get more information there, even request a portfolio stress test before you invest. And of course, we have a link on our website, fox8.com.
They help guide you. We wish that we all knew what we were doing, but these guys have such great ins and outs that really help you get things together.
It's never too early to start.
That's
It's never too early. It's never too late either.
That's a good way of looking at it, right?
It's never too late.
That's
You
good.
can never get a second opinion from the one that gave you the first.
Well, there you go.
We got all kinds of little.
We got all kinds of little sayings we can throw
Yeah.
at you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Stephanie.
It is